Hello. We've had a few people reach out asking about how they might be able to find a paper copy of DCAs. So I thought I'd put this short tutorial video together to try to assist you with that. Before I jump into that process, I do want to make some clarifications as well as promote some resources that may be helpful as you move throughout the school year. So, first thing is that the DCAs in Performance Matters are intended to be administered online. So, as I go through this process, I want you to understand that this is for teacher use only. It's to help you plan. This process is not for you to download and print out the assessments for students to take. So, just wanted to clarify that. As far as the resources, there's two resources I feel will be helpful as you continue to work in Performance Matters, as well as engage with our DCAs and understand some of the decision making that was behind that. So the first resource is our Performance Matters course in Schoology. If you look down here to the bottom left, you'll see an access code that you can submit and join the course. In this course, there's a number of valuable resources that will help you from creating different types of question items to creating the assessment itself and even administering the assessment. Definitely, I would look at this one because this will help you administer your test through Schoology. So there's a lot of wonderful information here. The second resource is a STAR redesign course in RISE. So if you log into RISE and you browse the library and search for STAR redesign, you will see this course in there, and it shouldn't take too much of your time, but I think it's so valuable so that you will know the timeline that changes are going to happen on the STAR assessment, as well as the different types of items our students are going to be asked to engage with in the future. Okay, so let's go back to Performance Matters, and I'll quickly go through the steps of how you would download a file for you to print out if you choose to do so. It may be helpful if you have the test ID number already available. You can find that test ID number on our unit planning documents in the ARC Schoology group. So please go ahead, look at that, and have the number available. So first step is to click on the magnifying glass so that your search feature will come up. Now, this is where you will enter the test ID number in the search bar. If you happen to not have this ID number, there are filters to the left that you can utilize to help you get to the test. So you can click on assessment test as the type. And then there's other, as this comes up, there's other filters that you can use. Grade level, you can do it by standards. There's subjects that you can go into, whether it's an English or Spanish test for our dual language program. There's these filters that you can use. But since I already have my test ID number, I'm just going to type it in, and I'm going to search for this. Going a little bit slow. Okay. And here's the test. So you have 4 options here. We're going to talk about the first 3. So we can download the test, which would be a full-blown file of all the questions on the test. You can see an answer key that's in PDF form, and then there's a preview. So I'm going to work my way backwards. The preview is actually what's linked in the unit plans in the ARC Schoology group. And the decision behind that was we wanted teachers to have the ability to see how students would engage in that particular testing environment. So if I click on Start and then Next, you as the teacher can see exactly how your students will engage with this test. So I can go through, I can click next, next. I can use this drop down to go directly to a question, and it just lets us see how students will actually work with this test. The other two are really what this video is about, being able to download the test and the answer key. So if I click on answer key in PDF form, that will show up. It'll let me know how many questions are on the test, the standards that are aligned to each item, the interaction type of each item, and then the correct response for each item. So you can print that out. And finally, downloading the test. If I click on this, I'll just use the default, hit OK. You'll see down at the bottom of my screen that a test was downloaded. You should also notice that it's a Word document. Performance Matters reasoning behind this is they just went ahead and made it a doc because they felt that teachers may want to reformat the test, either making the font smaller or larger, being able to add more space, just depending on what your particular needs are in viewing the test. But once I've downloaded that test, I can click on it. It'll pop up. And now I can see the entire test in one document. Once again, I want to reiterate that this is not intended to be printed out and administered to students. This is strictly for teacher use during instructional planning only. Right? And that's essentially how you would access the test, download it for your use. I hope this video was helpful.